Women are very close to my heart, and I've seen that there is very limited opportunity, and I'm talking about the bottom of the pyramid. I'm not talking about women like us who have so much opportunity, but at the bottom of the pyramid there's very little opportunity for women to enter the labor market in a safe way and then be able to climb or have some form of career path. In my opinion, the whole women empowerment debate is pivoted on financial independence. Right. The more money comes into women's hand, the louder our voices are going to get, and for that the labor market is very important. So when I started working with, when I started my organization called UMA in Ludhiana, we are a membership-based organization. So the maximum number of women were engaged in domestic work. The reason for that being it's the ease of entry. It's considered low skill. It's something traditionally considered a woman's work. You don't have any investment and you can enter the market. And there is there's a huge market demand for it. And as urbanization grows, domestic work is going to grow with it. So there was almost 30 to 40% of our members who were engaged in domestic work, but domestic work essentially isn't even covered under minimum wage. It is not covered under any law. It's not even considered labor today. Yet it's the fastest growing employment sector for women in India today. It employs the largest number of women. So keeping all of this in mind, and I also believe in more market-driven solutions because I think they're easier to scale. You can realize the last generation of women fought a lot on the rights. I think this generation of women have to realize those rights, and I think those rights can be realized through entrepreneurship, through business, through scaling those businesses. And I think for creating employment, women have to enter business and create employment for other women. So that's why we then focused on domestic work. We built a business plan around it. We saw some success in Ludhiana. We saw Uma was working in Ludhiana at that time. And based on the success and the learning, we spun it off as a separate company in Gurgaon because we thought Gurgaon's market was more ready for what we were trying to do rather than Ludhiana. So that's how the Maids Company started. I think entrepreneurship for me is about creation, whether you're creating opportunity or you're creating a new market or you're creating a new product or innovating. But whatever it is, it's got to do with creation. Now, if that idea comes to you sooner and you are able to take off with it, that's great. I don't know if there is really a right time or a right education or experience for you to enter the entrepreneur space. For me, it's been a journey. I thought I needed to work with SEWA to really my whole focus has been women. So everything has kind of come from there, my passion to get equal political, social and economic rights for women. So SEWA was great. It's the largest all-women union in the world. It was a great learning. I understood the issues and the problems and how they are solved. All the things I learned in LSE, I could see how they translate on the ground. After that, I started my own non-profit. I realized the difficulties in the non-profit space, dependency on grants and all of that. And then I moved on to a market-driven solution. And so for me, the passion lies in doing something real for women. Now, if your passion lies in technology and you get there quicker, that's really great. And I think everyone will have their own journey and their own passions to get there. But if it's difficult, you have to have staying power. You have to be able to be flexible and adaptable to what situations come on. You don't essentially have to look at failures as failures but learnings. Most of this information is already, I think most people know about all of this. So I think it's dependent on the individual, and there's really no right time in a generalized way. I come from a family of architects, so initially it was all, at 17 to decide which career to pick up, and it was quite difficult. So I just went with what I thought I would want to do, because I'd seen my mother and father as architects, and I do like design and I really enjoy design. So I had gone into architecture, but I didn't think I had that much of passion like my parents had for. They used to live, breathe architecture, the environment they were in. I was not that passionate about architecture. But what architecture is, it puts a lot of elements together. You know, you have to know the plumbing and the electricals and the structure and the climate and the interiors and the exteriors. All of that has to work together, and the architect has to put that together. So I think architecture helps me in the lateral thinking. So I can connect all the dots. It's easy for me to move from one vertical to the next and be able to make the connection between the two. So I thought I think architecture gives me a really good base, or gave me a very good training in the way I should think, and which is what I use today. I think remaining centered and not getting too bogged down with either failure or getting too excited about a success. I think it's to remain kind of level-headed and keep at it. I think it's really important to keep at it and not let the failure or the success phase you too much. And just remain at it and things will happen. I mean, I think if you keep going at it, it'll happen. You don't worry about it and then get stressed. I think that's what I try and follow.